first, we're going to have some technical difficulties during the show. I guess it's going to happen, and we're going to go through it together, so bear with me. Okay, so let me start with a story. This story happens before this war, even before COVID. It happened in an ancient time in 2018, where our biggest problem was too many tabs open that took all of the memory from a browser. So it was really a bad time to work inside a browser because it was very, very slow. We tried different ways to tackle this issue, but none of them worked until one day a new extension came to town, which is called the Great Suspender. I don't know if you used it or you're familiar with it. It's a great extension. Basically what it did, it froze all the tabs that weren't active. Very simple, and it improved Chrome's performance like very, very much. It was very popular. I recommended it to my friends. They recommended it to their friends. And kids were walking around with rainbows in their hair. Everybody was happy. And then one day we found out that this great extension was actually malware. So now my ex-friends were not very happy. But for me, as an engineer, this got me thinking, like, how can this be done? How is it possible for an extension to be good on the one hand and evil on the other hand? And it got me into a rabbit hole to understand how is it done. I mean, how can we create malware, which is a Chrome extension? And today, you're going to dive into that rabbit hole with me. So before we dive in, let me introduce myself. My name is Asaf Shochet Avida. I'm the father of Eitan, Sar, and Aviv. I'm married to Neta. And in the past 15 years, I'm in the tech industry. Currently, I'm the front-end tech lead in an amazing startup called Evinst, which specializes in helping large organizations identify and fix their accessibility issues, web accessibility issues that help for people blind or handicapped, using advanced techniques such as smart algorithms, AI, machine learning, computer vision, and Chrome extensions that help our customers analyze their own website and find accessibility defects. So this crossroads of my interest in security and my work in Chrome extensions got me to poke around and tweak the different APIs, both for accessibility and for security. And the results were very interesting. OK, so what are we going to do today? First, we're going to learn what is a browser extension. It's going to be fast. Then we're going to build a do-good extension. We're going to do some live coding. So, and the monitors are not with me today, so it's going to be challenging. But with your help fixing my bugs, it might work. OK. And then we're going to turn it into an evil extension, stealing data. Then we're going to discuss what can we do about it, how can we defend, and we're going to end with a touching summary. OK. Thank you. I'll give you the money later. Thank you. OK, so let's start. First, what is a web extension? Well, according to the official documents, this is from the Google MDN, or the equivalent for Google documents. Extensions are software programs built on web technologies that enable users to customize their browser experience. Basically, web extensions are a way for us in Chrome or in, this is a Microsoft conference, so in Edge, yay, or Explorer, silence, or any other browser that you want. If you love ads, great. If you don't like ads, there is an extension that can help you block the ads. Same for connecting to VPN or anything else. So now we're going to go through several extensions, and I want you to turn on the mode in your mind that is a bit suspicious. It's going to be easy because this is your job, so just think you're at the office or something. And I'm going to go through an extension, and we're going to think, what kind of access does it need in order to work? OK? So first extension is AdBlock. I use it personally. It blocks ads. So for it to work, it needs access to the document, to the page that is being loaded to identify certain elements as advertisements, and then to remove them or block them or to do something else. So LastPass, it needs access to your password. Now you might jump and say, hey, these are only the hashed passwords or something else. Well, it's still sensitive. It was hacked, but their servers were hacked, not the extension. It was pretty awful. VPN. Basically, VPN, if you think about it, it just reroutes your entire network communication to different servers, so they need access to all the network connections that you are doing, all the network requests. And finally, Evinced. This is the place I work. We need access to the DOM to identify accessibility issues, to calculate, for example, the color contrast on images being displayed, or the ratios between fonts, and things like that that are used for accessibility. OK, so this is a web extension. Now, on the technical side, in order to build a web extension, you need 3 parts. The first part is the manifest. Manifest is the boring part, but it's important. As you might know, boring is not always not important. So it has the metadata, such as the name, the extension version, the description. And it has also like the manifest version here. This is manifest version 3. Keep that in mind for a later phase in the conversation. And you can define the behavior. For example, this extension, do you want it to open when you click on the small icon, or you want to open it inside the dev tool, like under the elements panel, or does it do anything else? And also, there's a list of permissions. For example, here it has permissions to the tabs to know what tab is active. It also can use this permission to open new tabs on behalf of the extension. Different permissions, for example, are access to your webcam or access to your geolocation to see what storage devices are connected from the browser. This is pretty intensive. And a bunch of other permissions. OK, and now we need to run some code. These are like this is the metadata. We need to run some code. So if we are, for example, an ad blocker, and we need to run code on the page to replace specific elements with other elements, we can use something called a content script, which is a script that runs inside the web page. If we are a VPN, for example, we don't have anything to manipulate in the web itself, but we need access to the network. This can be done in a different component called a background script. Technically, it's a server worker. There is no UI, no user interface. There are no elements or buttons. But it's just there, and it has special permissions. For example, again, to listen to network requests or to it was very dramatic. And to see if new tabs are being opened and other things that might be interesting. OK, so I think we are now all certified. So give yourself a round of applause. You can now thank you. But we are, if you feel that you get enough information from this part, 8 minutes in, we are looking for front-end developers, so feel free to apply. So now we're going to create an extension. OK? So what is the extension that we're going to build? Now I'm going to play another imaginary game with you. Imagine that democracy is at risk. OK? Just a light game. Yeah? Democracy is at risk. Lots of fake news going on. The internet is no place to like you cannot trust anything, but you can trust your community. You can trust your peers. So we want to create an extension. I want you to say hi to the guardian angel. It's an extension that helps you report harmful content and protect your freedom. So no fluff, really not. And basically, you can report harmful or fake content, and then other people using that extension will I mean, when they will go to that content, will have a little badge, or the content will be blocked. So you might think this is actually a good idea. And actually it is. I think there are some projects in Israel after October 7th that actually did these kinds of things. I don't know if they are malware or not. I hope not. That's not the point of the talk. OK. So this is the business model. And now we're going to code. This is code. Yeah, good code. Okay, so this is an extension. It's called the Guardian Angel. While we are in the wrong file. Sorry. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. So this is the Guardian Angel. This is version 1. This is a reporting. This is the description: problematic sites, protect your community. I think I have an error here because it was freedom, right, in the slide. Okay. So. Let's go over the manifest real quick. This is the name, the version, description. Pretty easy so far. Yay, front end. It has a permission to the tabs API because we need to know what, when the user clicks on the button to report, it needs to know what is the active tab and to send it to the server. When you click on the icon, small icon, it's going to open a pop-up. These are some images, icons, and here is defined in the one more time, because this is the protocol. Sorry for that. And we're going to inject some code to the content. Remember, content script is the script that is inside the page, because we need to block specific pages if they are on the blacklist. OK, so this is the content script. And let's go to the pop-up. So the pop-up is, actually, this is the pop-up. It's a pretty standard HTML. If you're not familiar with HTML, it's fine. Yeah, actually, that's all I have to say about that. Don't feel bad. OK, so here, this is a button. It has an ID. And the most important part in this extension is the donate button, because we're a non-profit. Be generous with your the salaries. OK, so when we click on the report button, now we have a JavaScript file. This is the in front-end-ish language. I mean, you can define the HTML. This is the thing that you see. And the JavaScript is the behavior or the scripting. So we're going to bind the report. When you click on the report, it will perform a very simple function. It will use the tabs API to get the active tab. And then we're going to report to the site, which is a post request to our server. OK, so basically, we're done. This is the extension. Now the pyrotechnics start to be pretty complex. OK, so in order to load a local extension, we're going to go to Chrome. Please write it down. If you don't write, you don't want to remember. Go to Chrome extension. There is developer mode here. And we're going to load. We'll load the extension. This is not the thing I wanted to do. OK. No. I told you it's going to be a demo. And demos, like there are two types of people, the one that want to see it working and the one that are happy when I'm like this. So be the right one. OK, so now we loaded the extension. This is our beloved logo. And this is this is our description here. And if I go to this page, for example, yeah, and I'll add it to the toolbar using this one. And if I do I need to zoom in? Yeah, ST in the back. Do you? I don't know if there's an ST, but maybe. OK. So, and this is our logo, the Guardian Angel, and the report button. We're going to report it a few times. But you don't know if it's working. So, because you donated a lot of money, we did what every startup does when it has some money. We created a dashboard. So, OK, so this is the Guardian Angel dashboard. And you can see all the reported websites. This is all the same. If we just go to a different, we're going to this one. I'm not sure, but it looks very suspicious. Let's report. OK, let's report. And now we can see that Tom Roger is also being reported. So we're going after you. OK, now there is already one reported website, this one. And if I go to the zoo, this is a very malicious zoo website, by the way, the Wonderland Park. And yeah, well, you can see, it's under a pop-up. You can see that it's been blocked. Okay, so the extension goes both ways. We are production ready. You can donate, really. Okay, so now the extension is doing extremely well. People love it. They reference it to their friends. And now it's time to turn it into an evil one. So the first thing I had in mind when I want to create a malicious extension was that it would be really interesting to know what are the user, what is the user doing. So what's the behavior? Like, where are they surfing? What are they doing? Sorry, Jim. Bye. So now we're going to remove this one, and we're going to go back to the code. Ooh, it worked. Okay, so this is another extension. It's very similar here. In the permissions here, we have tabs and active tab. They are very similar. Just here, I can know what the tab is active currently. It's nothing special. And we're going to add our malicious code bit by bit. So the first thing we're going to add is an ability to track. So to track what the user is doing is very simple. So again, this is the content script. This code is being injected to every page that the user is opening. This code is injected and runs on this page. Now, we're going to call the track function, which basically gets the URL. If I was the front-end engineer for this website and I need the URL, I would use the same function. It's nothing special. Okay, I go to the window object, window.location href. It's very, it's used all the time, and we're just going to send it to our server, to the evil track, okay? So I'm going to see everything is saved, and now we're going to load the new version, or the different version. Yeah, this one. As you see, like if you were a user and the extension just got upgraded from 1 to 2 or from 1 to 1.3, you wouldn't know this. The logo is the same, the description is the same, and the behavior is the same. I mean, you can still, like if you go to this website, and you can still like report it and do whatever you want, show it here. But now when the user is surfing, and I don't know, going to this malicious website, if you have kids. We're going to some places that new and trending, it's very suspicious toys here. Now, we don't see it in the dashboard, but actually this is the reason I went to this demo, because I had a dream, and now we're going to do it, to create, I'll zoom in so the one is the back, to create an evil mode toggle for the dashboard. So I'm going to turn the evil mode on, and now I can see the behavior tracking. Now we can see what the user is doing. He's surfing here, he's going to Toys R Us, to the new and trending. Maybe he's going to the iconic bird's nest. Yeah, and I can see it here. Okay, so we're tracking everything the user is doing. Again, there is no problem in performance. It doesn't influence the experience of the user in any way. Okay, so I mean, this is cool, but it's pretty basic. It's like we can do more. You know, we have funding. So I wanted to know actually what the user is doing inside the website. So let's build a keylogger. Okay. To do that, we're going to going back to the code, and now we're going to add another functionality. It's called add key press listener. This is a function that listens to key down event. Key down event is a very basic in JavaScript. Key down is the fancy JavaScript way to say click. Okay? So it listens to every click and basically sends it, again, send event, sends it to our server. Okay? And if I go back to the, this side, no, I need to do like this. Okay, sorry. And if I go here, and I need to refresh it because the code is fresh, and now I will go here. Now, let's say the user is looking for a nuclear weapon in Toys R Us. Nuclear weapon. Yeah. And then he chose this cyborg weapon. Okay, this is like maybe dog food, nuclear something. Now I can go back to the dashboard, and we have a new tab, which is called the keylogger. So here I can see everything that the user is doing, including backspace and special characters and everything the user is typing. Another flow that this can be very useful is in a bank. So this is the bank, the best one in the hangar. And now when the user is typing his username, let's call him Fred D. At gmail.com. And the password, you cannot see it because it has a special protection, very complex. I don't remember what I type. And now, actually, I can go back to the dashboard. I can see here that the user is going, this is the reported, sorry. I can see that the user is going to this is the bank website. And after visiting there at 7:09, I can see that on 7:09:28 he logged in. He typed his username, and if you ever worked on something like that gives you intelligence about stuff, it's a good guess to say that the string after the email is usually a password. So this is the password. Don't hate me for using this one. It's not my password. Don't try. OK, so we built a keylogger, which is pretty nice. But it's not enough, because we want more. I want to see things. There are things that are more than the URL, and they are more than what the user is typing. For example, let's say that the user is using a map. OK, oops, this one. OK, using a map, and is trying to find an Israeli intelligence headquarters somewhere in the middle of Israel near a big cinema mall. But the GPS is sending him back to Beirut. So he's going there, and now he needs to scroll all the way. So I really would like to have the ability to see what they are doing. So let's take some screenshots, OK? Going back to our friends, the code. And yeah, so this time we're going to use the background. So this, actually, we're going to take a screenshot using an API. Actually, now we're sending a message to the background script, which runs on the background. And if I go to the background page, it uses a built-in API called Capture Visible Tab. It's free to use. It's built-in in Chrome in the tabs permission. You can capture the screen, basically. And now we capture the screen. You can even compress it if you want, and we send it to our server. And we do that. We do it every 2 seconds. OK, we can do it more or less. We can batch it and send it after if we want to be under the radar. OK, so let's let's go back here and reload our extension and reload this page again. So let's say we are looking for tell me stop somewhere. Maybe this is the place, the Rose Market, or this is, of course, not a real market. It's an undercover agency of something. And have a look at our dashboard. And we're going to see a new tab, which is called Screenshots. So we can see exactly what the user is doing, while they're doing it. Yeah, it's good for this scenario. It's also good if you have some kind of a CAPTCHA or some kind of a visual challenge. It's pretty easy if you can see what the user is viewing. So yeah, at some point, it's become like Inception, because now we're taking a dashboard, a screenshot of the dashboard, looking at the dashboard. So the last one is going to be very confusing here. OK? We're going to stop it for now. And actually, there is one more thing that I would like to show you here. Where is the link? Here. OK, so there is a special place in the browser that it's called the local storage. Local storage is a place that browsers can store data which persists, refreshes, and it's accessible for everything under the domain. Many websites use it to store the user tokens, wink, wink, don't, or to store the user IDs, or the last visited website, or any kind of interesting information. Here in this website, I'm going to zoom. I think let's zoom a bit more. OK, so here, if I want to see what's going on, I'm going to open the console here. A lot of things, sorry. OK, do you see? Do you need to move it upwards? Yes, no, great. OK. So if I want to see what's going on in the local storage, I can just request for the local storage object, and it prints a bunch of things. So this one has, let's say this one has a user ID. OK, and as a hacker, I would like to get the data because it will help me in future attacks. So let's use our Chrome extension that is already on the page to get the data. I'm going to close this one. Yeah, this is nicer. Let's go back to the code. And now we're going to have a new functionality here. Again, we use the window.localStorage getItem API. It's a very basic API. It's again, it's the same way I would use it if I were the developer for this website. And I get this ID, and I just send it to the local storage, to the server. So let's go back here. You know the drill already. And we refresh the extension. Let's refresh Toys R Us. And we're going to refresh the bank. And in a moment, you're going to see a new tab here, local storage, and the user ID that we have stored in our local storage. OK, so that's enough for pyrotechnics for today. Let's go back to the slides. OK, that worked OK. OK, so now the question is, it was pretty easy. Like it took you like 7 minutes to build it. Really impressive. But what can we do? How can we defend? So this June, in about 10 days, Google starts to roll out a new protocol for Chrome extensions. It's called Manifest v3, or MV3 in short. So what is it supposed to do? What are the promises it brings to the table? First promise is performance. Basically, by moving the background script to a service worker. It's not very interesting in the security concept, but yeah, it does has a security performance improvement. And the other promise is a security promise. It prevents from external code execution, which we didn't touch it today because it's not possible now, with some asterisks, but in general, it's not possible. And it improved the permission model, so now I need to declare in a clearer way what permissions does my extension need. So in a new Chrome extension in the future is going to have more prominent pop-up, like we have when we install apps on our phone. It's going to say, are you really sure that this application needs access to your webcam? And in most cases, when I install apps, the answer is no. You're a media player. Why? OK, so yeah, so maybe Manifest v3 will solve everything. So let's go back to our manifest. And if you look at the last line here, the manifest version here, and I'll zoom a bit, we are already using manifest version 3. So yay. It might block some of the attacks, but not all of them, because this is a valid extension. And it's in Manifest v3, the new standard, and yeah, there's no problem with it. So the question remains, no, really, how can we defend? And here there are good news and bad news. I'll start with the bad news. So if you are a bank, I'm not a bank, I'm a programmer. If you are a bank, or you build a website for a bank, and this is like an official answer from the extensions forum. There is a good Google group. As a developer, there is no way for me as a bank or as a website to prevent extensions from running. It might be interesting, might be a good idea for a specific website to say, I don't allow any extension, and if you're really sure, you need to explicitly allow it for a specific page. But it's not possible, it's not in the protocol, there are no intentions of doing it that I'm aware of. So, as a website, I have almost nothing to do. Now you might jump and say, hey, but I did see a pop-up saying, please close your ad blocker, right? Yeah, right. Well, this is because the ad blocker is being fingerprinted, but it's not scalable. You cannot fingerprint all the extensions in the world. So, moving on, if you work in an organization and your machine is controlled by an IT or a sysadmin, the sysadmin can define what extensions are allowed or blocked, or even say you can use any extension that you want, but no extension can have access to your webcam or to your connected devices. So it's a good way to mitigate these risks. And as an individual, basically what we're saying is that in my own PC or my mother's or her friends and family, I can go on, they need to be aware of cybersecurity, which is not scalable. It just doesn't work. I mean, there are best practices. You can prefer known vendors, for example, prefer extensions by Microsoft or Google or known companies. You can disable extensions where they're not needed. It's just a small toggle. And you can review the permissions before installing. But again, this is not really scalable. So now for the touching summary. So we build an extension that does good things. A lot of people loved it. Then we turned it into an evil extension. So basically, extensions are powerful. They can do great things. They can help you block ads. They can help you get Hurricane into the Eurovision finals by using a very good VPN. They can help you find accessibility issues. But extensions are also can be evil. It's very easy to turn an extension into a malicious one, to steal or to spy. And the question remains, now what? Well, I don't know what the future holds. Or will vendors be more proactive in defending the users or defending the website? What I do know is that at least some of you, after this talk, are going to open your laptop and disable some of the extensions that you didn't use and installed somewhere in 2021. So on a personal note, I want to thank you very much for your time. I had a great time talking here. And if you're interested, this QR code leads to all the code that was inside the presentation. You can play around with it and hack it and do whatever you want. Thank you very much.